Morning. I'm Jacqueline. I'm 34. I'm type 1 brittle idiopathic diabetic. And I'm making a bunch of videos just to create more awareness and hopefully stimulate a conversation about how we connect people who are sick to medical services, how we care for them, and also to encourage more research as far as type 1 brittle idiopathic diabetes. It's been a really hard morning. I have advanced neuropathy, and the last couple of days have been really hard. It's like my feet are on fire, and it feels like I'm walking on glass, and it just hurts so much. And you'd think, okay, well, rest. 'Cause that's what we always tell people when they're sick, right? Rest. The thing is, with neuropathy, it doesn't matter if you put your feet up. They keep hurting. It keeps feeling like you're walking on glass. I was supposed to get labs done today because we know my thyroid's slowing down, and I left the lab slip twice. It's like the thing I do when my thyroid starts shutting down. I can't seem to remember anything. So it's a tough morning. I'm just in a lot of physical pain, and I'm tired, but I know that taking a nap isn't going to help. And I have my doctors giving me my last set of lab results, and it's always the same thing. We know something's wrong. We don't know what it is. That's my world. We know you're sick. We can't help you. We know you're sick. We don't have tests to see what's wrong with you yet. And then, when you look up brittle type 1 diabetes, the first thing it says is it's a result of poor management. And then after that, psychological issue, depression, right? And then after that, or perhaps needing to totally change medical teams. I have been struggling with my diabetes for almost 30 years now. And the frustrating part is I weigh my food. I don't even eat condiments anymore because things have just deteriorated so much that, like, garlic makes me sick. Onions make me sick. Fennel makes me water. Freaking water makes me sick. I can't tolerate water. And I've got great doctors. It's not a question of that. As far as complications, I've got a lot of those too. And with those, it's harder because you're not working with the doctors on a regular basis. And so then what they basically get is a file where you have taken every test known to man, right? And there are no clear answers. What they don't get is that you vomit at least 2 to 3 days out of the week. That, like today total, I walked whole 12 blocks, and I am exhausted now. And then as far as, like, depression, yeah, I'm sad. I'm exhausted. But it's also kind of that passive aggressive card. For 7 years, I've had gastroparesis, so my stomach paralyzes and I involuntarily throw up. And for 6 years, I was told that I didn't have gastroparesis and it had to be a psychosomatic reaction. I mean, I was on feeding tubes and losing weight and being told that it had to be me. And eventually you get to this place where you're doing everything and none of it's working. And you try everything, then you keep a positive outlook. And when nobody can figure it out, then they say, oh, you're probably depressed. That's what's causing it, your depression. And I guess the thing that scares me and upsets me most is that, like, I can't volunteer anymore, and that was really important to me. I've had 5 surgeries on my wrists and hands in the last 3 years, and now sometimes it's really hard to just be able to pick up a paintbrush like I used to, or to sew for long periods of time because of the gastroparesis. Like, I can overheat in 86-degree weather. I grew up in Miami and in Southern California. I can't handle 86-degree weather without basically overheating. And my biggest fear is that this is going to be for nothing. That I am going to go through all of this and I am going to do all of the right things. And then eventually this disease is going to kill me. And that when I'm gone, people will say it was probably because she was depressed. Or it was probably because she didn't manage her diabetes well enough. And then there's gonna be somebody else just like me, and they're gonna have to go through this too. At least if I knew that if somebody could be helped. You know, that more research was being done, that it would make coping with what my life looks like now a lot easier. To know that it wasn't all for nothing. But instead, I'm sitting here crying because it just feels like things keep going wrong. And my doctors are stumped. Medi-Cal won't approve an insulin pump with continuous blood glucose monitor, even though it's the only real viable option. apparently it'll be easier when I lose more of my eyesight than when my kidneys start slowing down more. And then maybe Medi-Cal will approve this insulin pump with CGM. And maybe I won't be in as much pain. Maybe. I hate being sick. And, I mean, honestly, I've made it a point in my life to try to be someone who created positive change, who didn't just sit around talking about what they wish the world looked like, right? And I'm in this place where I'm in my mid-30s and can't work, I can't volunteer, I can't really paint, I don't have the energy to see people most of the time when people even want to hang out with you, because I know it's kind of hard to be around someone who's so sick. And it just scares me. You know, what if I'm going through all of this pain, and my quality of life is deteriorating, and nobody has any answers, and I can be good with that. I can be okay with that. But only if I knew something positive came out of it. I don't want to lose my eyesight. I don't want to lose the ability to digest more food. I don't want to live in pain like this. But I can, and I can manage it, and I can cope with it. But if I'm gonna do that, I want to know that me trying to get awareness resulted in somebody not having to go through the same thing. You know, another me doesn't reach her mid-30s alone, watching her body slowly deteriorate, not being able to get the medical services because apparently I'm just not worth the cost. So that somebody like me gets to go to college and graduate and have a career. So that somebody like me doesn't have to watch partner after partner leave because it's hard to love someone who's sick. So that someone like me gets to have a family. So that somebody like me can make it to 50 years old and be able to see the world. Like, physically see it. So that someone like me gets to grow old and fat and saggy. But it's hard. And because medicine doesn't help people like me. Medicine doesn't research people like me. People like me are the anomalies in the control group. And there aren't very many of us, so what's the big motivator to research anyways? Then people like me watch their bodies slowly break down. And watch our ability to do things slowly deteriorate. And people like me have a few friends, maybe, who come by once every 3 weeks, maybe. And people like me live with chronic pain daily, but since nobody understands what's going on, people like me don't get any form of pain management. And people like me spend most of their time looking for new research. And people like me we get really sick, and our quality of life disappears, and it's not fair, but it is what it is. The part that's just too hard to swallow is that people like me don't get the care we need because we are poor and we are sick and we can't afford it. And people like me have everything taken from them. All the possibilities, all the milestones, all the things people take for granted. I don't even get to bitch about how my 401k isn't going to cover my 60s. And then people like me eventually die. And when we do, we are the 2 lines in a medical research report. We are the anomalies in the group. We are that 0.001% who science just doesn't get. So people like me die very slowly and very painfully. And medicine pretends like we never existed in the first place. And that it happens to the next person. And people like me the government says we can't help everybody to. People like me don't go to school because we need medicine to live. And people like me wait over 2 years for permanent disability. And people like me hope you don't forget us while we're alive. And people like me people like me want to have a life too, you know? And I don't know about other people like me. But I know that if I'm going to lose everything, things are going to continue the way they are. I can manage it if I know I did something that I didn't just end up being another anomaly in a medical study who doesn't get it. Who ends up being that less than 1% that we don't get, so we just pretend like you never existed. If I knew that I was making people aware of how screwed up our medical system really is when it actually looks like and does when you're sick and alone, then it really would be worth it. Keep sharing.